yesterday. From our outage, we lost our internet. And so it was really useful for me because I was like, what do I want to talk about that I just know about? There will be nothing to look up because that's gone for now. And it felt like a whole half of my brain was no longer available.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah. Well, I'm joking mostly. And so I called on really where I'm at in my own practice. That's how I always begin. Like, what's up for me right now? And then from what's up for me right now, the second thing I call on is, what did the Buddha say about that? Because really my experience is it only illuminates, it enlightens, it enlivens it, and gives me almost always some instruction on how to be with. How can I be with this? So I have in the new year asked everyone, friend and foe, to write down your daily practice commitment for the year. If you haven't done it, no worries. I know who you are. No problem. I've got you. I'm going to hold you. I'm going to make contact. If you can't do it today, it's okay, because here we are. The epiphany, right, is just more clear seeing, more birthing, more becoming. We can begin again, really, just now. And so as a result of that, I thought, now what gets in people's way? What is it? They forget, they get busy, they don't know, they're thinking of a number, avoidance, doubt. And when I hit that word, doubt, it reminded me of the 5 hindrances, which is in fact exactly correct. It is the thing of those 5, I'm going to go over them today, that always gets in the way. It's only those 5, said the Buddha. There's nothing else. And so we're going to review them today, and I'm going to use, as the Buddha himself did, the metaphor of the pond, the metaphor of a pond. And we'll rest in the still forest pond, right? The one that is glassy, the one that is pristine, still, and reflects all things, right? That still forest pond, which is also a metaphor for the enlightened, clear-seeing mind. That still forest pond, reflecting all things, but clinging to, rejecting none. You get the idea? Just mirror-like. The metaphor was ultimately determined to be deficient. Can anybody guess why? Because it's very like it, but the metaphor was ultimately went, not quite. Anybody ideas out there? The metaphor of the still forest pond and its qualities being exactly like the qualities of the enlightened, clear-seeing mind, but ultimately determined to be deficient because it did not directly experience, it only reflected. And so that would be like reading about driving and never getting in the vehicle, right? It would be like studying swimming, but never getting in the pool. And it was determined that really the only way to true enlightenment was the knowing, not the reflecting. You get the difference? The knowing of suffering, not the thinking about. The knowing of the path to its end, not the naming of the phrases. You get what I'm saying? So the 5 hindrance path was we're going to conjure up an experience with the metaphor, right? We're not going to just rest in the metaphor, the idea. We're going to see, where is that in me right now? Where is the boiling in me? Where is the sloth in me? Where is the doubt in, right? we have to make real contact. Otherwise, just like that mirror, it reflects, but it's not the truth, right, of who we are. Who we are is multidimensional and ever changing, and right. So you get this idea. I hope that makes some sense. So I was thinking about these hindrances and thought, so what is it that keeps people and myself really, because that's where I can inquire, from commitment, from discipline, from constancy of intent, from that re-intentioning. And I came up with something as you're thinking about it. What is it for you? Keeps us from, we could say, our truest selves. Not wanting to fail, Libby said. Make sense? Yeah. It's essentially always some ego mind fear. I'm not this, it's to that, right? Something fear-based. And we already know about fear, don't we? It is not who we are. It is what obscures. It gets right in the way. It separates us, we could say then, doesn't it, from who we really are. It's not who we are, but we mistake it, don't we? We add in there, don't we? Libby said, didn't she? I might fail. We bind and pair ourselves to the suffering. Isn't that ridiculous? Wow. I am not capable. This is insanity, really, of the most dangerous type. And so we're going to, by recognizing the hindrance, then we recognize I am not this. And it, when its power, its default mechanism, right, grabs that egoic mind, cultivates, I should say, that egoic mind, I will fall. I will fall. And the I is the luminous, right, self. So if you haven't yet written me, do so at Diana@EverydayMind, or you can, for ease, write me right here. You can write me personally right here, and I will receive it and write it down, and look forward to holding that intention with you throughout the year. So this commitment is not only an intention statement, which many people have offered, it's also an amount of time. It's relative real clock time. What am I going to do? What's my minimum? Most people have done it. Thank you so much. Some have not. I know there were some reflections continuing. If you don't have, you can't, I don't know, go with the 60 breaths. We did 60 breaths the other day as a family, and we were shocked how long it took. Like, wow, this is more than the 2 or 3 minutes we were thinking it would be. And we stopped, I think, at 6 something minutes. And we don't, yeah, we got maybe to 40 something breaths in 6 or 7. I think it was 7 minutes, because I added a minute. Yeah. So Carrie, you said it's almost 10 minutes. Yeah, it's really amazing. It's a long time. It's a long time, and there's nothing better to do with your time that I can think of. I mean that wholeheartedly. So 60 breaths, no matter what. Well, I can't do 60 every day. Well, we're going to look at the hindrances and see what gets in the way. All right. I'm going to check chat just to make sure there's no big needs here. Distraction, Jan says. Yes, distraction is that restless movement of the mind. And we're going to look at restlessness here as well.
I have a question about the breath.
Yes, Larry has a question about the breath. Let me listen.
Just make sure. Is this, so when you meditate, say a person meditates in the morning, every morning, if you're conscious of your breathing, do those breaths count? Or is this above and beyond special breath time? Or during the day, oh, I'm taking 10 breaths right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
I'm trying to
the
figure
very
out.
thing Larry said, are these special breaths, and what it constitutes then this?
Give credit, right?
Yeah, get credit and merit. The Buddha said intention itself, because you're breathing all the time, so we can't count those. Because Carrie's laughing. You're breathing until you're not breathing, right? And consciousness, thank God, is not dependent on that. Ultimately, we suspect. And the intention, I am going to turn my attention to an object, one of them being the breath, right, as a possibility. Open space, you notice we've been naming two, on purpose for a number of moments.
Okay, so that means that if you have that awareness, you're meditating in the morning.
Yep.
You can do your breaths.
Yeah.
In maybe 10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. People, I do my first meditation every day lying down. Every single day. The very first one I do is the one that begins with my eyes fluttering and my recognizing that I have been gifted once again this human incarnation. Right there. I don't wait to go to the bathroom. I don't get a sip of water. I just take on purpose a certain number of moments of breath beginning the day.
The awakening.
That day. I already see some writings coming in. Thank you so much. Yes, we are all getting more consistent now. Someone said, I did this, but I haven't really been consistent. We have to be. We have to be. And it's not only for yourself. You have to be consistent for me, because I'm being consistent for you. Right? That's a fair deal. I'm in a practice. And then we think about all those people, all those infinite awakened others who practice for us, that we even have this option, this amazing option. Some sunrise breaths, beautiful. So let's practice now. Finding a comfortable posture. The only thing about the hindrances I want to say is that it's not a failing, just so we're clear, because we jump there. It is not a deficiency of self. It is the brain stems, archetyped habits of mind that came with us right at birth. They were gifted also right at birth for us. So be watchful that we don't turn this into some kind of, oh, this means I'm pathetic and deficient. And we have a good habit for doing that as well. The contact with the hindrance is understood to be the path to enlightenment. Knowing suffering is suffering, seeing its causes is the way to seeing the path to its end. So we're going to look at them directly. Eyes open or closed. If you're a non-meditation meditation, you can just rest the eyes at the line of the nose and then rest out in open space. And if you are in calm abiding practice, you can close the eye. Make contact with the sense and then the awareness that follows of the body sitting here breathing. And for a moment, the space around you. And then we call to mind once again all those others who have contributed to these teachings, to their wisdom. We acknowledge the community. of all beings who have gifted us this precious moment. And then we call to mind those for whom we want to direct these merits. And we call them out. We call them into the heart. We call their names. And we invite them into this practice as well. And then we breathe right into that ignited heart, into the whole of the body, awakening the body. This bodhicitta heart, invigorating, inspiring, energizing. And as we breathe in, we can imagine that radiant light, the awakened Buddha heart, Jesus heart, Moses heart, whoever is coming to mind, Mother Teresa, Grandma. And on the out breath, we let it radiate through the whole body. This is awakening the whole body. And as we sweep through the body, see where you feel that awakening, that aliveness in you. I'm noticing it right now in the fingertips resting against the bell. Vibrant, energized, warm, maybe even a pulsing. We need this joyful effort, one of the paramitas, for our practice, both to begin the practice and to continue. And then from the body as a whole breathing, we turn towards the breath sensations. And with light attention, we know the in-breath as the in-breath. We know it by direct felt sense. And we know the out-breath as the out-breath. And we commit ourselves to the whole breath. And with each breath, we still the mind. The waves of thought begin to still. Place the mind in that stillness. The mind inhabits the breath so completely that it unifies. And now there is only this breathing awareness. No mind separate from the experience. Living, breathing awareness. Feel its stillness. Its receptivity. It doesn't only reflect, it becomes. So not just looking at the breath, breathing. resting in equanimity, an unmoving, imperturbable, unshakable awareness. It is this mind that is your own true nature. This mind, like the vast sky, the still pond that holds all others and remains unmoving, unshakable, and imperturbable. No matter its circumstance, no matter the conditions of the thinking mind. And so we will reflect on a few of the conditions of thinking mind, of ego mind, of small mind, holding always into the infinite, boundless, and vast qualities. The stillness, silence, vast, open, and empty space. Maybe more like the sky being reflected in that pond. Reflecting for a moment on the mind of craving, of wanting, of seeking, of restlessness, the jumping, moving, wanting, craving, hungry mind. And the pond of this mind is dyed red. It is blinded by the seeking, by the wanting that it believes will invite freedom, joy, ease. It obscures craving, wanting mind. Always looking for the shiny object, dyed red. If only this, if I could get this condition, if I could be like this, if only mind. Feel its hunger, feel its dissatisfaction. Can you feel its lack of clarity? It's blinded by the brightness, by the redness. This is a mind moment. This is a conditioned mind. It is not the quality of that vast, open, boundless, and spacious mind of awareness that's holding it even now. Sense desire, consuming the mind and the pond. But not lost. Clear seeing, open, spacious mind can know this too without being lost. And resting back for a moment in that stillness. Remembering one's true nature, which is colorless, ageless, birthless, deathless. And then pointing awareness mind to investigate and inquire into aversion, ill will, aggression, hatred, not wanting. And this pond is frequently reflected as a boiling pond. The energy almost uncontainable, bursting forth. Hot, dangerous. boiling pond. See if you can feel that felt sense and see what kind of thoughts come along. The mind of hatred, aggression, and ill will is a mind of the boiling water of the pond. Agitated, stirred up. And then resting back once again. Back to stillness. And then seeing if we can make contact with the hindrance of sloth and torpor. Sloth is the body, the physicality. Torpor is the sluggish, lazy, unenergized mind. And the pond of this mind is filled with algae, thick. Hard to move. The difficulty of getting to the practice. The mind that's so sluggish it cannot activate. Energyless. You can feel it sucking you in, immobile. Maybe depression, mind hopeless, mind helpless, mind. Ugh. And then coming back into awareness, mind, just that mind, the one that holds it all and is not contaminated, is not dyed, is not boiling, but sees clearly. And then the mind of anxiousness and worry, quality of conditioned mind, stirred up on the surface like by a great wind, frothed up. Unstable. Can't find the balance, can't find a way. The winds keep blowing. Like a ship caught in a storm. And feeling into the sensations. Where in the body do you know this hindrance? Churned up belly, rapid heart rate, and then we're going to drop beneath that surface, go down and down and down, letting go of conditioned mind to come to rest in that still and silent, unmoving, imperturbable quality beneath the waves. Down and quieter and more still. And that still and quiet and unmoving quality of mind that holds that froth, that holds the waves, actually exists even beyond the form of water. Remember, we've seen it now in open space. We've seen it beneath, deep into the pond. And even as the waters dry up, as we move towards the hindrance of doubt, the desert of doubt, thirsty, parched, dried up, the pond disappears. We see cracks. In the earth, And that still and silent space is still available. It holds even this doubting mind. There's apparently no moisture, no nourishment, no hope, no point. Doubt dries it all up. See where you can make contact with that felt sense. No practice, no teachings, no community, just dry, cracked ground. And remembering that the still and silent space of awareness is all abiding, it does not dry up in the desert. It can feel the dryness, know the dryness, and not be consumed by it. And so let's rest back in that imperturbable, unshakable, always available, vast, open, still quality of mind. And then the boundless heart fills this vast open space. once again unified. And without effort arises those wishes. May we all be happy. May we all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we rejoice at the gift of this human life and the path to the end of suffering. And wish this for all beings. And may we rest and dwell in the vast open space of equanimity, free from the afflictions of the red dye, the boiling water, the churned up wind, frothy waters, the algae in the desert, free from all afflictions. And may this practice today contribute. And may your practice each day contribute as it will. So be it. Thank you for those of you who wrote additional offerings, daily commitments. Thank you. That's wonderful. We need you. And so, where did you sense the what mind do you know? What pond is familiar for you? Anyone particularly come to mind? More than mine, but Mine was definitely joining you there.
Well, first I want to say all of them. All were very
All of
familiar.
them. All very familiar. Yeah. Well, that's a mind that's paying attention.
But I know the algae was pretty resonated.
That's stuck, right? Inert, immobile. Just can't get.
And no seeing. Right. I saw the difference between distorted vision with others, though an idea of still some vision, though distorted, but then the algae with no vision.
Mhm. Blinded.
What's the term you use, not for the body, but for the mind?
Torpor.
T-O.
Torpor. Torpor. Sluggish. Deadened. Weighted. Hopeless, helpless, powerless. These kinds of can't.
Unenergized fear is what came.
Unenergized. Yeah. Fear that immobilizes. Mhm. Sloth is, the body of it. If anybody knows sloths, they're very beautiful, really. They're quite special. Torpor is a perfect word. Yes. Torpor gets a lot of us, I think, really, especially as it relates to daily practice. We've got those two big hindrances, right? The one with restlessness, busyness. I can't stop. I can't get to it. I'm just in a, right? Whether it's worry or gadas, the craving mind that worry also, that breeds anxious worry mind is also a craving mind. I got to get this. I got to get this done. I got to, right? Slightly different qualities, but they certainly inform each other. And then that other one, like I just can't. I could get up early, right? Even though we know for sure, the science is so clear that if you got up 10 minutes early and actually did the practice, it would change everything. We know this. We know it. And yet, right? And yet, there we are. I can't. I'll be tired. We have all these ideas, about this until we actually practice. And then we see. There is no good idea about practice. It's just not good enough. There's no idea to have about practice. That it's going to get me blank, forget it. That it's going to, right, be impossible. I can't, forget it's not true. These are all just thoughts and all related to the hindrances. And so be watchful. Because craving mind that goes to practice, can you see what happens there? It'll get better. I'll be better. I'll feel good. It will, right? Craving mind. I want a certain result. And really, the truth is, I want it now. I want it in this practice. I don't want to sit with restlessness. I don't want to be bored. I don't want to be slothy. I don't want distraction. I don't want that. So I'm going to listen to music during the practice. I'm going to tell myself a story. I wrote poetry, really spectacular way to occupy the mind. Terrific. Yeah. Couldn't bear the idea of the still mind. I just wanted the non-suffering mind, and I hadn't yet figured out they were the same. So somebody wrote, Dennis wrote, I want the doors always to be open. Yes, we do. Want it to be, right, comfortable. I want it to be easy. I want to relax. I want to relax, peaceful. I want, right. And we make demands on the pond, don't we? You got to be like this, or I'm not sticking around. I'm not going to stay. And worse, I'm not going to commit, because what's going to happen? You know for sure you're touching into every one of those things. That's the point of the practice. That's the whole point of the practice, that you come to see the craving mind, and then with renunciation go, it's not worth this. This is my story with caramel corn, right? There's no amount of caramel corn. It doesn't exist. A little or a lot isn't going to get me what I truly want. It's not going to get me what I truly want. Right? True?
I set the alarm for my sitting. And when it goes off sometimes, torpor, sometimes agitated, but I get to see it. That alarm goes off. Whoa. There it is.
There it is. And that's practice. See, because remember, we cannot just be the still pond. This is a fantasy. We can, though, continue to remember how to rest then in the vast open space that holds even that restlessness, even that torpor, even that depression, even, right, that pain. We work a lot with chronic pain. The mind that is not pained, even in that physical sensation, it's quite actually not only possible, we are not only capable, we can train to remember that. Lisa, you're there. Is there something you wanted to add? Good morning.
Good morning. You know, it was really interesting because I set my intentions that week. I guess it's the week between Christmas and New Year's. So easy, not I won't say so easy, but so much easier to find that time to get up that early morning time that I'd set. And then the following week when I was back at work, it got a lot harder.
Yep.
And this week has been a lot harder. And I keep reflecting on this idea that I have to set up the causes and conditions. I have to make it right for me, because I can go into real avoidance, especially if I have a crazy busy day. And then at the end of the day, you could zone out a little bit and stay up later than you needed to stay up. And then when that alarm goes off, it's true torpor.
Right.
It was such a contrast this week versus last week. And again, that's a lot of me saying, no, I have to be disciplined, not just to get up to sit, but I have to be disciplined to go to bed the night before, so
Right.
that I'm able to get up. And I know that sounds like such a mundane thing, but it's really a big part of it for me.
Yes. We get to see where all our addictions are through the practice, just like this. So I'll just stay with eating for a moment. If I don't eat a certain way, my practice is impacted actually by that. Really something that looks fairly unrelated and insignificant, right? Just eating more than is beneficial, or thing that's not good for me, or right, just that. Alcohol,
Yeah.
right? The clarity about that. One thing. By the way, I have no moral issues here. This is not whether you should eat meat or not eat meat, or have a glass of wine or not have a glass of wine. This is not my statement. My statement is I have a mind that can see it now. So clearly I'm like, I cannot do this and benefit myself and my practice. And what? It's not just my 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 45, my life. I can't do it. It doesn't mean I can't ever do it, but I have to know its impact, right? This is the reality of our practice. When we go to bed, when we get up, how we get up, how we set it up to get up, right? All of this, having the phone right there, having the computer nearby, we set these things up, we trip right over them, right? We trip literally over them. And yet we can't find the way often to the thing that will give us the greatest relief, the greatest benefit, and it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. And there is no confusion. It is guaranteed. So whatever your hindrance, whatever you've got going on for that mind that goes, I can't, it's too hard, I don't, who can find the whole 10 minutes, you can. And it does mean you'll have to change your life, doesn't it? Isn't that the point? Maybe that's the whole point. You are going to have to give up caramel corn. Yes, you are. And it will not hurt you.
Garrett's caramel corn in the can. I like this every Christmas. It's gone.
Jim's naming the favorite best caramel corn, of course, but it doesn't matter, does it? Right? Moose crunch. I don't know what they call this stuff. It's not right. The best martini in the best spot. And again, I am not faulting the objects at all. I want you to pay attention to the mind that buys into that, right? It's really bigger. So don't make mistakes. If only I could get away from caramel corn, I could be okay. No, you can't, because ultimately you can't get away from caramel corn. It's everywhere. Right? Taffy apples. My brother sends us 10 taffy apples for Christmas. Right? Well, craving mind, if you have that mind, and if that mind can be activated for you, you have to know, wait a minute, then I'm over there thinking that'll make it better. That'll get me there. And I'm asking you to commit to an amount of practice with taffy apples, caramel corn, martinis, your favorite thing, your late night, the work a little longer. I can get it all done then. The few extra emails, the torpor that just says, don't move. Don't move. Because that'll, right? I'm asking you to sit in the conditions of all of that, because they will all be there. Right? It's guaranteed. But there is that quality of mind. I hope we could make contact with it for at least a couple breaths. That is not the weather, right? It's the sky, not the weather. And that's why the pond metaphor was seen as inadequate, right? It's not conditioned. It doesn't move. It isn't unavailable.
I just reflect back to that song. I just dropped in to see what condition
My condition was in. Who was that? I loved that song. Just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. Yeah. It was like Creedence Clearwater. I can't think of it. R.E.O.S.P. I don't know. Anyway, right? Can we see the condition and not be lost in it? What's the answer? Absolutely. Can we see the craving? Yes. Can we see the craving and not be in craving? Eventually, maybe not right now. Maybe now I thought about caramel corn and I got up. I call it watermelon mind from my 30 days in retreat, right? And what did I notice? Watermelon mind literally got me up off my cushion and I didn't even know it. I was heading for that watermelon. I had pictured its pink. I had pictured the sound of the slicing of it. I had no food available. I was getting food from the community every day. That watermelon mind caught me for 3 days. Nothing but watermelon mind. Guess what? Nothing but hunger. Nothing but deprivation. Nothing. There's not enough watermelon in the whole of the universe, is there? It's not true. And yet, just think and think and think and think and think. And I gave the watermelon away because I got the punchline. And the punchline was, there is no watermelon. There's not enough of it. I think Lois liked the watermelon though. She's the one that got it. I want to read this and then we're going to get ready to go. I am heading to another all day today. I'm so excited to be doing that. So I'm going to be ending a few minutes early so I can make sure to get there on time. How organic I am with earth, wind, and fire. I want yes, the elements are a part of our true nature. I want the doors to be open. Yes, we can make contact with it that way. I can see how I've been avoiding sitting with what is. Yes, it's one of our strategies. We love thinking about it though, don't we? Love planning, masterminding won't help you. It's just more caramel corn. You are the shoreline of your waves. Yes, we are larger than even that. It is true. The first edition, the first edition. Yes. Yes, the first edition, Tanya. Yes, thank you so much. That's exactly right. I'm guessing.
Wasn't that in like the Big Lebowski or something when he's doing
Yes.
that?
Oh,
'Cause that's my
absolutely.
favorite movies. And when you said that, I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, it was. I love that song. We're going to have to play it next time. Just dropped in to see what condition. Yeah, Greg, isn't it fabulous? Kenny Rogers also. That's right. That's right. And thank you for the blessings, Caroline. Okay, so be watchful of your mind that buys in to you as the sloth, you as the worry mind, you as the caramel corn eater, you as the worker, the producer, be watchful, because this is a falsity. Those are false beliefs and they will get us all in trouble. And then please watch for that quality of mind. The one that defaults, all of them are default network, all of them, default network, lizard brain. On the flight side, on the and on the side, fight and flight side, that is not who we are, but the mind that can see clearly and hold us still, stable, provide refuge is what the Buddha said for us all. And so let's sit for a moment again together. So we remember that we are the sky, not the weather. And yes, we're going to have to experience all weather on the path to true happiness and freedom. Let's just rest in the breath. Inviting that full exhale so that we can begin again. I'm not this body. I am not these thoughts. And I must make full contact with both to see clearly. And may this Bodhi heart and mind, precious and sublime, arise where it has not yet come to be. And where it has arisen, may it never diminish, but grow and flourish evermore and more. And just this one breath. And so when we place our hands together at our heart and we bow, we are bowing to the truth of this, the truth of our own awakened heart mind, the truth of the capacity to see clearly the Dharma and all its gates. And we bow to the community, ourselves among them, who are in pursuit of this enlightenment, this freedom, this ease, this well-being, not only for ourselves, but for all beings. And it will then be so. Thank you all so much. We have on the 14th, that's next Saturday at 3 o'clock, Pete Kirchner's wife, Lisa, is having something she's calling a women's circle. And I didn't put out the invitation because, but I think there is still room. And so if you're interested, it will be sound healing. I'm doing a meditation. Lisa is doing some expressive art work. Yeah, Saturday from 3 to 5. That's the 14th. On the 21st, we're all going to Pete's for the half or all day. I do not have anybody to do the Zoom Sangha, and I'm debating whether to even do that. I really, what I want is for everyone to commit themselves to get to that half day or that all day. And that is on the 21st. You have to go to encinitasmindfulness.org to sign up for that. And Pete is being dramatically gracious to give us the Geodome space, which is spectacular, in which to do our day. It will go from 9 to 4. If you can only do 9 to noon, come anyway. If you can only do 1 to 4, do that. We look forward to seeing you then. I'll let you know next week whether we're going to have somebody do the Zoom on that day, but it will not be me. It will not be me on that day.
Or me.
All right, everyone. Carrie, good to see you. I'm losing my vision. Here we go. Everyone is so welcome. Thank you all so much. I look forward to seeing everybody soon.
Have a good journey.
Carrie, I can't hear you.
Have a good journey.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely cannot be otherwise. All right, everyone, take good care.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're so welcome. Bye, everyone.